Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, hit the bell to activate notifications that will remind you when we're on. Please be sure to leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you.
Welcome. We're back to season 5. Thank you for tuning in. We have a very, very important topic we want to talk about today. But before we get into it, I have some housekeeping things I want you to do. If you are Facebook, please like us. Please leave a comment. We love to hear from you. If you're on YouTube, hit that little bell and it'll give you a alarm that we're coming on. And stay tuned. If you have questions, please, we'd love for you to talk back with us during this session. So today I really want to talk about some things that is very important to fathers, to men, to society. And this is our 5th season, and we're going to be doing some exciting things this season. My staff told me not to use the word exciting too much, but I can't help it. I'm excited, not necessarily about this topic, but I'm excited about this season, what we're going to be doing. But September is Suicide Prevention Month. And I want to start out with opening statement, and then my two guests that I have on the set today, we're going to talk about suicide and prevention and the stuff that goes along with it. But actually, let me introduce them first. I'm going to introduce Dr. Tony Jones, is a dear friend of mine. He's my brother from another mother. We met several years ago, and we used to sit down, and both of us have got some stomach issues. It's called fatness. And we sit down and we eat Waffle Houses and all these other breakfasts for 2 or 3 hours and just have some meaty conversations. First time I've seen him for in a couple of weeks, a couple of months. We've been both busy, and but when I brought up this topic, I really wanted him to be a part of this conversation. So welcome, Tony and Dr. Tony Jones.
Delighted to be here.
Great. And also my partner in crime, James Jackson, is my dean of students for Fathers Forever. And he'll have his own personal story that he's going to talk about. But he also worked with us as our dean of students.
Yes.
And he worked with a lot of men who struggle with suicide and all those kind of things. So those are my guests today, and we're going to have some candid conversation about suicide and about the prevention of suicide.
Glenn, I'm thanking you for inviting me to attend this session. I've been on sabbatical.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've been on camera. I love the studio now. It was good before. It's even better.
It can be better now. Yeah.
We've got some upgrades that have been taking place, and I look forward to it sitting in this chair again.
Yeah. We're going to be doing a lot in this space. We're going to enlarge this space eventually. We're going to be doing a lot of training in this space. So anyway, today we want to talk about suicide and prevention of it. And I want to read a statement, an opening statement. September is Suicide Prevention Month, a time when we come together to shine the light on one of the hardest, most important conversations we could ever have. Every year, thousands of lives are lost to suicide, and men in particular are at much higher risk, dying by suicide nearly 4 times more often than women. Behind every number is a father, a brother, a son, a friend. Today we're going to talk honestly about the warning signs, the pressure men face, and more importantly, the reason for hope. So welcome today as our topic on suicide, and we're just going to have a kind of,
We'll discuss.
A good discussion. So James, why don't we just start with you? Just talk about a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, and just as we get into this conversation.
So I'm, as Dr. Warren stated, I'm the dean of students. So I've focused more of my attention on our guys, our students, and I've had less time to put forth on some other endeavors that have happened here at Father's Forever. But my story is probably going to be similar to a lot of other stories that are out here. I did not know that I suffered from depression. And I know we'll talk about that another time, but some of the telltale signs of a person that it has depression is suicide. That comes up. And some of the things that I was going through when I was diagnosed formerly as you're suffering from depression, I know that those thoughts entered my head over and over again about ending my life. And I had gone so far as to say how I was going to do it. And it is a real thing. It's not something that you can just brush off. You'll wake up with that thought and you'll go to sleep with that thought in your head until you get help. And that's what helped me. I got help. I received help and understood exactly what was going on inside my psyche.
Wow. Yeah. So we're going to look at some of the things that causes sometimes us to kind of feel that way. The masculinity pressure. I mean, that is, what society placed on men in general. And, we supposed to be all in all at all times. And we don't, supposed to be weak. We don't supposed to show no signs of weakness. We even sometimes don't even supposed to cry. Well, we know that's a myth because God gave us tear ducts.
Yep.
Just like He gave everybody else. It is because we're supposed to cry. But what are some of the things, Dr. Tony, that you see that men struggle with, that the pressure sometimes of our masculinity is we hide it, which causes depression and everything else?
I think what comes up for me is that one of the major things that men don't feel safe or don't have when you don't have a safe environment to really say what you're really thinking, to look, to share about what you're going through. Not that you need anyone to give you the solutions. Sometimes you just need somebody to hear you. You just need somebody to be a sounding board.
Right.
And in that mode, or what we call the man box, that we are expected to be, we're expected to respond in certain ways or not have things impact us. They do. So what we intend to do is we become, like you said, stoic and hide the pain, or even lie to ourselves and say, it didn't hurt, it didn't bother.
Right.
It's okay, when it really isn't.
Right.
It did hurt and it did bother.
Right.
So, that is that safe space to be able to do that. And I think that's something that a very few men also are able to find, is have develop a relationship or two where you can just call up and say, man, today is not a good day.
Yeah.
Or to be able to really say what you're thinking. And it may not be right. It may not come out the right way. It may not be the right, proper Christian words. But in that moment, it is you're trying to find a way to express internally. Because when something remains inside, what it does, it just turns over. And it just becomes worse because it causes more and more wrath and quarterly in itself. Right. But there has to be an out. There has to be a way. Even Christ pulled away at times.
Right.
Get away from the crowd.
Right. To process.
Yes, to process. So I think that's something that a lot of men, we are truly missing. The understanding of how to develop and be to find a safe space.
Yeah.
My doctor or therapist / psychologist told me when I shared with him that I was having those suicidal thoughts, he brought out this promise note. I promised that I will call him before I actually go through with this notion that was in my head. Right. And he signed it and I signed it.
Wow.
With his numbers and everything else, so to make sure that I stayed in contact with him.
Right.
Because I would imagine he saw things that I did not see.
Right.
And our conversations brought out information that I wasn't aware.
Right. Right. The story. I had one of the clients. He'd been in prison for 10 years, had very violent history. I mean, he jacked people up. I mean, he sold drugs, he did drugs, he stole from people, and he finally got out of prison. And when he did, he ended up leaving from New York to come down here because he said, I got too many enemies in the city in the place that I live at. And now I'm a felon, so I can't have a gun. So I'm going to die because they're going to roll up on me because I didn't jack somebody up. I don't have a gun to protect myself. So he said, I told my PR, so I got to get out of here. And he ended up coming down here. And after he'd been here 2 or 3 years, he came to our program, he got involved in us. And he had so much pressure on him that he called me at 2 o'clock in the morning one day. And he said, Mr. Glenn, I got the gun to my head. I'm ready to go. I am ready to go.
Yeah.
And I was in the bed asleep. And I imagine I'm laying in bed asleep beside my wife, and I get a phone call. And I'm getting up, trying to sneak out of the bed, go to the other room to talk. Imagine what she's thinking in her mind. Who are you talking to at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning that you're not to wake me up? And I'm trying to talk this guy down from not committing suicide. And I did, and he came in the next day, and we had a long discussion, and we talked about, you got too much to live, man.
Right. Right.
Your life and your family. And so those are the things, and we're going to get into some of those things, but relationship breaks down.
Yeah.
It's another reason why men, and statistics says that, I think I said earlier, that men we are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than women.
Yeah.
We make up 50% of the population, but 80% of suicide is for men. Why do you think that is?
I think a number of reasons.
It's a lot of reasons, yeah.
There's a lot to process there. But I'm thinking about it strictly from my own manhood and realizing the responsibilities and duties that I have or that I may have, and how there have been times where I felt like I'm worth more dead than alive. I could do more good for my family if I just wasn't here. At least they would have the money, the house and all this paid for. Yeah. It's how we rationalize down those things and how we should respond to it. And I thought, what great courage it took for him to call you. What great courage it took for you to call your doctor or talk to you, to open up and lie on the phone and say, nope, I'm not experiencing it, but actually are, because that was more than a cry of help. It was an opportunity to test the water to see can somebody understand. Can somebody just listen to what I'm going through, to where I'm going? Because you kind of lose sight of what your purpose or your value is. When you lose sight of what your purpose or your value is, then your issue, your dilemma that you're going through becomes much greater to you than what it actually is.
Right.
And that great sense of hopelessness falls upon you because you feel like, because you don't have a reasonable solution, you feel like, well, there's nothing else I have. The obvious is just, at least I won't have to be thinking about it. I won't have to be feeling this. And there are other opportunities. There are other outings. Right. And other disruptors get put into place that, signing that docket being, now my secret is out.
Yes.
Right.
So how am I going to explain to him why I didn't call him?
Right. Which, because secret has power. So once you get those secrets out, now you feel responsible, and you have some obligation to this person because you gave them your word that you was going to consider calling them before you pull that trigger, whatever.
You mentioned relationships.
Yes.
When you go through a divorce, that is probably one of the worst things in life to actually go through. It's not easy.
Right.
Sometimes some people make it sound like it's just signing a document, but you are attending a funeral, basically. That marriage is
over. But guess what? The corpse is not buried.
Right.
The corpse is walking around.
Right.
That you see every day.
There has not been an autopsy.
There's been an autopsy. It's not. Yeah.
So now we've got to figure out, make sense of all.
Right.
Because the emotions are all over the place. And our emotions are going to be irrational.
Right.
What our answers, our solutions are going to be irrational because
Right.
we're not in a healthy space at that time.
Exactly. Right.
I love the way you phrase that, and body is being buried, but an autopsy has not been performed.
Yep.
So what's going to always be in your mind are all these questions,
Right.
unanswered questions, and with the unanswered questions, in a sense, like you said, the body is in the ground, but you're still walking around with the death
Right.
cloak on your shoulder.
Yes, yes, yes. So when I first started getting into mental health, I'm doing my first assessment, and I talked to my supervisor about this a couple of weeks ago. She came to break some clothes, and I remember this story. She was training me. This was over 20 years ago. I remember that day like it was yesterday. She was training me how to do assessment with people coming in our office who's struggling, with suicide, homicidal thoughts, substance abuse. And I had this big burly guy just like us, and he's sitting there, and I'm going to tie in fatherlessness with this. And I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to this guy. He's successful. He's married, he got kids, and I asked him, I'm doing a biosocial, and I asked him about his parent. I asked him about his father. He looked at me, then he looked away. And then I asked, wait for the answer, and then I said, did you know our father? When I said that, he burst into cries. I didn't see it coming. He didn't see it coming. It's one of those pains that fatherlessness can bring. And as soon as he did, I picked up a box of Kleenex and I put it in front of him. And as soon as I did that, he stopped crying. And so I put the tissue back. And I'm going on now with my assessments. My supervisor sitting over there watching me. As it's all over, she said, he's gone. She said, let me ask you a question. I said, why did you give him that box of tissue? And I was like, he's crying. He's got snot running all down his face. She said, why did you really give it to him? So now I'm kind of a little irritated because I just told you why. She said, go home and think about it. In the morning, we're gonna talk about this. I go home and go see. I'm kind of a little irritated. Didn't know what it was. I wake up about 5 o'clock in the morning. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I gave him that Kleenex box because I was uncomfortable with him crying. And I was telling him to shut up.
Wow.
And when I told him to shut up, he shut up.
Yeah.
And so when it came to my mind, I rushed back to the session I did, and I told her, and she said, well done.
Yeah.
And I said, what should I have done? She said, you could have got it and put it on the table. Let him communicate. Because when you put it in his face, you told him to stop crying. Because men don't cry. You don't act that way.
Right.
And society has put that on us.
Yeah.
That we can't ventilate. We're not supposed to do that. Because if you do, you're not manly.
Yeah.
And so that thought came to me, and I tell that story on a regular basis because we don't, what you said earlier, we don't provide sometimes men a place, a safe place to be vulnerable and to cry and talk about the disappointments, the failures that we have. Things that's not going our way, our broken relationship. If you're in prison, you coming back home, and now that's why we wear these buttons on my side, called bringing him all the way home.
All the way.
All the way home. And that means not just to a job, not just to a place to stay, not just back to society, but bring him back to his title as father.
Yeah.
Bring him back to his role as daddy. Bring him back to his kids. And sometimes we have to intervene because they're not going to do it.
Right.
And we have to be the one that says, we call it initiated intervention. We got to say, you can't look at fathers can't be an afterthought. It got to be up there with the rent and the other things. And we've got to figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, and we talked about the man crying. And, another aspect of it is that sometimes we are uncomfortable because our shadow is in the room. He's crying or he's talking about his pain. We tend to sometimes be dismissive or not give attention to it because secretly they're speaking what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I know we ain't got much time, y'all. We could talk about this. Broken relationship, social isolation, which could bring on depression. It brings on when you feel like I'm in this world by myself. I got my family, I got my kids around me, but I'm lonely.
Yeah.
I'm hurting, but nobody knows about it. And I'm afraid to be vulnerable and to talk about it.
Sometimes because we bought into the lie of I'm good all
Exactly.
by myself.
Exactly.
Well, we're really not.
We're not at all.
I heard something when I was going through my chaplaincy training, my supervisor used to ask me 2 questions. He would say, "Where did you learn that from?" Then they asked me, "How's that working for you?"
Yeah, it is not.
Right.
Yeah.
We
And
pick
it's
it up
not
along
all
the
the
way.
time.
You know.
Yeah.
Another thing is chronic pain. You got a disease that's it's painful, and now you in all this pain and society and all the things. That's another reason why people contemplate suicide.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in this pain.
Yeah.
Substance abuse is another reason.
What about that pain of brokenness that he was talking
Yeah.
Yeah.
about? That's a pain that you can't put a bandage right. You don't have an ointment for.
And then people will judge you because you are feeling that way.
Right.
And you're going through those things.
Right.
And I know that has happened too.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not my brother.
Right.
You're not somebody I
not a real man.
Yeah, somebody I would look up to. Yeah, any of those.
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Right. So, what are some of the things that would keep a man from pulling that trigger? Or and most times when men commit suicide, we do it. We don't take pills and lay on the bed and go to sleep because the pill may fail. We want to make sure that when we do it, we're not failing and killing ourselves.
Right.
So you do the drastic measure.
Yeah.
You eat a bullet, you step out in front of a moving vehicle because you done. You want it to be done. And so we do the drastic measures where sometimes women may take pills, they may go to sleep, but we don't want to be known as, I failed to kill myself.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the things that keep people from doing that?
I think is love of family.
Families.
Is when you really love your spouse, you love your children, you think about the impact of your decision is going to have of them greater than the pain that you're experiencing right now.
I cannot leave my little girl.
Yeah.
I can't leave my granddaughter. I can't leave my grandson. I can't bear the fact.
Yeah.
I want to end this because I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
But my love for my kids and my family is the one thing that would keep me away from it.
Yeah.
I may think about it, but I won't follow through it because of love for my family.
One of the things that helped me was having a spiritual connection with God because just knowing what the good book says, the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
Thou
shalt not kill.
Yeah. So that's not going to fix anything.
No. Right.
And I mean, you can definitely do that, but here's the reason why he said, do not kill.
Right.
Including yourself.
Right.
And for me, I had to start living and learning and claiming some of those promises that are in the Bible. My grace is sufficient.
Right.
And have to stop looking at things as woe is me.
Right.
I have to understand that, these, if I was intended to walk through this storm, we all have different storms.
Right.
Then I have to walk through it and not be worried that I won't make it through the other side, So it was a spiritual thing from there.
Right. But having another buddy, another friend, another comrade that you can talk to. I mean, James and I have had conversations, he knows that if I would get depressed, I could call him the same way. That we can help talk each other off the edge.
You have to have a person of value that you can reach out to. That's a must.
Yeah.
I've got two brothers married brothers that we meet, periodically. So much is so we hang out so long that one of the brothers' daughters called us, you're drinking buddies. Well, we're drinking this sweet tea.
Sweet tea, right.
But it's just the conversation and this patience we say to have to, like you said, to have to look beyond that, the problem, look that there's hope.
Right.
Yes.
And I was thinking as you was talking, James, about the opera artist said it will always be like this.
Right.
And that thing is that our friendships and our brothers will help us to see, it's bad right now, but it will always be this way. Mm-hmm. You've been through, reminding us, you've been through something worse than this.
Right.
Or there is some ownership you need to take in this, but there's some changes you can make.
Right.
So you're not totally, it helps you see you're not totally powerless.
Right.
You do actually have power.
Right. Yes.
And the other thing is, you're not in this alone. or there's somebody always worse off than you.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you hear people's stories like, man, like, nah, you think I got it bad.
Well, I was in group therapy,
Yeah.
and this is when, I finally had my diagnosis. I'm talking probably 30, 40 years ago. Maybe not 40, but at least 35. And I went twice, I think. And that group therapy was like, I don't have a problem.
Right.
And I don't have a problem compared to some of what I was hearing. I was like, okay, I got to get through this.
Yeah.
I got to get through this.
Yeah. It does shift your perspective. It's not good, it's bad, but man, it's not as worse, because to you, when you're by yourself and you're alone, it seems like your problem is the greatest problem in the world. There's nothing in the world great.
That's right.
But then you hear somewhere else and you go like, wow, well, it kind of put a new lens on my, it's not as big as I thought it was.
Right.
I can't get this.
Yeah.
So look what it did in an indirect way without having a counselor or a professional tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Just hearing that story help you to get outside of yourself and you see something.
Right. Well, we can talk about this. In fact, we were going to only do one episode of this, but I think we're going to do another one, hopefully next week.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into the symptoms of suicide. Yeah. We talked about some things, but we're going to talk about
Autopsy
and depression a little deeper, and some of the things that we can do. So I want to say to our audience, if you know somebody who's struggling with suicide, please share this video with them and invite them to come next week as we deeper into depression and some of the things that cause suicide, and get those that help that you need. There's help out there. You have your family, you have your friends. Suicide is not the answer, and there's help out there. So on a good note, I want everybody to pass this on to other people. And life can be difficult, but there's always hope. There's always hope for tomorrow. So until we meet again, I want to thank my guests, Dr. Tony Jones and James Jackson, for coming and be a part of this conversation. And we're going to continue it again next week. Until we meet again, Father Family, it's all about healing fathers, saving families.
Take part in the Dads at a Distance initiative by giving a copy of I Am a Father Forever to a friend or family member, or host a reverse book signing at your business, church, or organization. You can also contribute by joining the Fathers Forever monthly donor membership program. By becoming a monthly donor, you're directly contributing to the success of Fathers Forever programs and the men we serve. Choose the level of support that's right for you and enjoy exclusive perks designed to connect you to our mission and impact. For more information about this or any other method of support, please visit our website at www.afatherforever.com/donate.